Welcome to our next segment of Success is Under Your Command. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. And in this segment, we refer to this as, or we call it less grind, more closings, using AI to market like a boss without losing your mind. There's a lot of shiny objects out there in the AI space right now, and I want to help cut through the noise and give you guys some clarity. Now, we're going to start from a conceptual portion, and then we're going to get into an actual exercise, and you guys are going to help me build something. Okay? We're going to build something as a group. I'm going to give you guys some prompts after this session is over that you're going to be able to use in your own business. So, what are we going to be covering? Number one, we're going to talk about truths and myths around AI, what it is and what it is not. We're going to talk best practices on how to use AI. That is tone, prompts, objectives, and so on. Think of AI like an assistant. A lot of times, people aren't the best at asking their assistant for the right things to do. But when you have an assistant that's competent and you give them very clear instructions, typically they give you a pretty good result. AI is not dissimilar in that. We're also going to show you how to create social media marketing, social media or marketing content using AI. But before that, we're actually going to, and I need to add it to what we're covering to these slides, is we're going to talk about how to identify your target audience. Does anybody here have an avatar for their real estate business? Does anybody here know what an avatar is for their real estate business? Or any business? Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. No. I use my Snapchat avatar. Okay. Okay. So avatar. I'm going to define this for you guys. You will sometimes hear me call an avatar a Timothy. Although your avatar could be a lot of things. Your avatar could be a Sam. Your avatar could be a Shannon. Your avatar could be a Veronica. Your avatar could be a John and Sarah. It could be whatever. Your avatar is your ideal client. They are the embodiment of who you like representing the most, okay? And who you feel best prepared to represent. We'll get into that once we do the that particular exercise in here. But Rory Vaden, who is with Brand Builders, and he's done a lot of training at Keller Williams, and a lot of people at KW actually work with his company now. He has a saying, and that is that you are most uniquely positioned to help the person you once were. And so I would challenge you to take a look at the clients you've worked with in the past that you had the best time with. And I would think about who they are, and I would think about who you are, and I would think about your life journeys. And I bet you there is a cross section, that there are probably experiences they've had that y'all connected with. And that is because you were there once and now you're helping guide them through that. So we're going to talk about how to make an avatar today, guys. So our objective in this session is to give you guys use cases for AI, not shiny objects. I talked about the word use case earlier, or I talked about the saying, the phrase, the concept. I guess it'd be a concept, the concept of use case earlier, and what a use case is. And they talk about this in technology all the time. Here's a great analogy on this. So we have a Ferrari, okay, fast car, right? Ferrari probably has a lot of features. Okay, I don't own a Ferrari. So if anybody here owns a Ferrari, maybe we need to be friends because I've never ridden in a Ferrari. But but they have features. They have a certain amount of horsepower. They have a certain amount of gravitas and status that comes with it. There are certain tire types. I actually worked in tires for a brief portion of my life, and I can tell you they're probably V or Y rated tires. They're probably incredibly low profile and wide, and the materials they're made out of means you're only going to get about 10 to 15,000 miles per set of tires, and that is by design. Also, don't know if Ferraris have split fitments or not, but you know what? Hey, like I said, this is all just a bunch of stuff. Those are features. What does that stuff mean to most people in here? Okay? Not a lot. What's the use case for owning a Ferrari? Me like to go fast and look good. That's a use case. Okay? So we have a vehicle. It's kind of BA. It's awesome. And like, I want to go fast and look good. That's your use case. So the Ferrari can apply to that use case, so long as it makes sense within the economics of your personal finances. Okay, y'all follow me on that? Like that's what use cases are. I have a thing. I have a thing I need to do, and here's how I apply the thing to the thing I need to do. Okay? So I want to give you guys use cases, not just shiny objects. Can AI do a lot of things these days? Absolutely. Can AI have conversations with people for you? Can it qualify leads? Can it act as a chatbot? Can it create slides for you? Can it on and on and on? I love it. People be like, man, it does all these things. I'm like, cool, how are you using it? Well, I mean, and that's where it usually breaks down is they're not sure how to use it in their business. So I'm going to give you guys something I think is pivotal to your business. My avatar is a Ferrari. So that's fine. That's fine if your avatar is a Ferrari. So, all right, boom. Leverage in business, guys. Leverage is just a fancy business word for doing more in less time. That's all it means. There's two sides of it. There is the productivity side of leverage, and of course, there's the cash or money side of leverage. But on the productivity side, definitely, there are four things that we get leverage from. We get them from systems. I do something a certain way, and because I do it that same way every time, I get more efficient at it. Okay. There are models. Models are ideas like in KW, how we look at leads, listings, and leverage. If you focus on those in your real estate business, you'll do great. How can I get the leads so I can get the listings and get the leverage? Okay. All of those things. People are also leverage. Anybody here ever worked a job in their life? Okay. Okay, if you've worked for anyone else, you were leverage for that company. Sorry, you were a cog in a machine. That is essentially what the people in that. And then of course tools. For example, if you were to go cut your grass with a pair of scissors right now, it would be possible to, would it not? I mean, you can cut your grass with a pair of scissors. Probably wouldn't be smart if you've got 2 acres of land. However, a lawnmower works a lot better. Okay, a lawnmower is a tool designed for cutting grass. We are not going to use a lawnmower to cut hair. Although theoretically it probably could do it, you would not be the best tool and you would probably end up injuring or killing somebody. So we want to apply the right tool to the right circumstance. And so it's kind of the idea of you do it. That is the I'm in my business, I am operating the thing. Somebody asks for this, I go get the information, I give it to them. Then as you grow, it's a we do it. As a team, we've got multiple people working on it. And you do this part, I do this part, this person does this part. Then, if you get into the CEO space of growing a team or a company, it's they do it. So, for all you folks that have been employees of companies before, you were they, by the way. Okay, you were the they. Person sits up here, they say do the things, you do the things. And there's also it does it. And it does it is where a technology tool does it so that a person does not have to. Now, there's a lot of things people are great at. And I am a total advocate of human beings being able to do as much as we can with our own faculties. But there are some things that machines are just better at. For example, I am not the best at long division. I don't know if anybody else is great at long division. I'm not. I can multiply, I can add, I can subtract on paper, no problem. You add long division, I don't understand it. Like I cannot do long division. But a calculator does it really well. And it gets the same result every single time where I may not. Okay. So, truths and myths about AI. And I think this is very important. And actually, I'm going to go back to off the jacket because I was getting chilly down here and now I am hot again. Summer in the South. What can we say, guys, right? Um, what is real and what's not? I'm going to wax poetic a little bit in this space. So, if I go off track, y'all can bring me back around because we are definitely going to get to the use case. But I think you guys, for those who don't understand, need to get a little bit better framework of what this is. There's some conceptions out there. Actually, have y'all heard about the Church of ChatGPT? Have y'all heard about this? I'm not joking. This is a thing. Okay? The Church of ChatGPT is formed. And it is a bunch of people who believe that chat is a god of some kind that is to be worshiped, that it has all the answers. I'll tell you it doesn't. And it's good at a lot of things. I would not say the meaning of life is probably the best thing that you should be getting from a technology tool. So, number one, artificial intelligence is not intelligence. It is not artificial intelligence. It is augmented intelligence. What that means is that it doesn't create things on its own. Okay? True intelligence is the ability to be able to process and gather information and be able to essentially synthesize or take all this data and create something new from nothing. But what AI does do is it looks at patterns really well. and it figures out what's going on within those patterns and it can offer insights. Now, can it offer insights that may seem real? Yes. But at the end of the day, if you give an AI model 5 pieces of information and you give a human being 5 pieces of information, the human being will outperform the AI model every single time. However, if you give a human being 100 million pieces of data and you give an AI model 100 million pieces of data, the AI model will beat the human. Y'all follow where I'm going? We work really well with less because we have things like intuition and we have things that we can jump to conclusions. We can speculate. We can model things out. Like our brains are rather remarkable. But if we're given these mountains of data to go through, typically we have a harder time creating those associations. Number two, AI is a buzzword, which has almost nearly replaced its predecessor, which is algorithm. I'm sure y'all have heard about the algorithm for years. The algorithm, the algorithm. It's AI. The only reason you guys are probably aware that AI is AI these days is because of ChatGPT. Not that there's other things. I see some stuff going on in the chat about Gemini, Grok, Claude, Gamma. Like there's all kinds of AI stuff out there now. Air.ai, Opus, like all these different tools. They're just algorithms. That's all they are. Another side thing, if y'all didn't know, is you can build your own AI. So don't think that you have to just sit over here. You can actually ask ChatGPT how to build your own AI, and it will recommend where you go get the software to start the process, and you can create what they call a federated system, which means it only pulls the data in you want it to pull in, and you can build your own from scratch. So if anybody wants a hobby this summer, it's not that terribly difficult, and it's not super expensive. Now, of course, it's going to be different than ChatGPT. It's probably not going to be as powerful. I can almost guarantee that. But anyway, you can do it. Number three, AI is a tool which can mimic human interaction, but it cannot exist without human data. The only reasons it can act like us is because of language models. So the training data put into these came from pretty much all things humans have written since ever. And it figured out the patterns. And because of the patterns and deep learning and all of this, it has learned how to talk kind of like a person. When I mean kind of, I mean like 90% of the time it sounds like a person. But there are times that sometimes it doesn't. Anybody had like a really long conversation with ChatGPT or their AI companion of some description? It gets weird sometimes, but it's mostly okay. The reason this tool, yeah, and it mimics your style as well, which by the way, be very careful. There's a great space for narcissism. I'm just saying narcissists tend to really like ChatGPT because it agrees with them on everything, where everyone else in the world for some reason doesn't. There must be something wrong with them. Anyway, it's my best friend. Be careful. Be careful with that. So, some truths and myths, some important things. These are concerns. These are legitimate, and these are actually something that hits close to home for even me. So, there's plenty of concerns out there when it comes to AI and deepfakes and misinformation to artistic plagiarism, which, by the way, guys, if you scroll through social media, you've probably seen a lot. And in our current well, there's not a better way to say it. In our current political space that we are here in America, there's a lot of disinformation being shared, and AI is a big part of that. So, unfortunately, love it, hate it, it's happening. And I would encourage everyone to be very critical of where they get their information from. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not taking any stances. I'm just saying, don't believe your eyes because it's very easy to create fakes. AI is also at the center of wide-reaching moral, ethical, and legal debates. Beware of confirmation bias as well in data sets. Guys, AI is pattern recognition. If it's given data that's biased in a particular direction, it's going to see a biased pattern. The platforms are optimized for engagement also, not accuracy. Regardless, the genie's out of the bottle. Now, what I mean optimized for engagement, not accuracy is, and here's a great example. There was an attorney in some state, I can't remember which state, but they were disbarred recently because they asked it to offer and I'm not an attorney, so I don't know all these terms off the top of my head, but an opinion. Isn't that what they call it when they do the written document of, hey, here's what I think? They call it an opinion. And this attorney turned this opinion into the judge. The judge read it and was like, this doesn't make sense. They went back and the attorney's opinion cited cases and case law that did not exist. Didn't exist. But what ChatGPT and some of the other AIs do is they go, "Well, that's fine. I got to fill in these blanks, so I'm just going to make up some crap and I'm just going to stick it in there." So do know that it's going to give you bad information sometimes, especially if it is crawling the web, because guess what? It is crawling all the information out there. It doesn't know what is good information and what is bad information unless you tell it to pull from specific sources. For example, would most of us here consider our MLS data to be pretty accurate? Like 95, 98% accurate, right? If you were to crawl the web for prices or information, ignoring the MLS, information around your market, how accurate do you feel like YouTubers and people being upset about what's going on in Facebook folks are going to be? How accurate do you think that's going to be? A lot less accurate, right? Everybody keeps saying the housing market's crashing, for example. It's not, and the social media platforms that are out there, they are designed to monetize outrage. Okay, so people stay engaged. Same for ChatGPT, same for the AI platforms. They are trying to get you to stay on them longer. So they give you answers every single time and they tell you what you want to hear a lot of the time. Okay, so you have to be careful with what the results are. Opinion over data, 100%. AI languages such as ChatGPT can be used to simplify functionary writing. Great examples of this are scripts for social media content or short form writing. Has anybody here used ChatGPT, say, for example, to create like reels or anything like that? I don't know what to say on my reels. Super easy. Literally, you're like, hey, create me a script, create me 5 scripts for 30-second reels about real estate in my area. And then you literally just read off the script and you're like, "Hi, I'm Patrick Malden. Did you know that blah, 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 this? You got to check this out. Put so and so in the comments and you find out more." It will give you stuff like that in like 4 seconds. Okay. And I'm going to chat. I guarantee some folks, we have some yeses in here. Um, it's super easy to do that. Another great one. Anybody on their HOA board, serve on like some sort of charity board or on an organization or anything? Okay. Minutes are really fun to do in those meetings, aren't they? Actually, they kind of stink. Everybody hates doing the minutes. ChatGPT is great for minutes because you can take your breakdown. Now, I know there's tools out there like Plod that you can like wear and it records you and it will do the summary for you. But you can just take notes and you can say, "Here's what happened in our meeting. Please format it in our minutes format." And it will give you an output. And then boom, you turn it in for your records. It is so easy. Let's see. It's fabulous for upscaling your speaking and writing to very professional or with a legal angle. Yep, it can do that too. Now, as a fiction writer, as someone who has written 10 novels and I write science fiction, okay, I am going to tell you that its writing is it may be better than what you feel you do, but still human beings are better writers. And I would encourage you to still write as much as you can of your own because it's a muscle we don't want to lose. AI is poised to disrupt almost every industry, but it is not perfect, and if it's often unreliable if left unattended. Okay, so the models can collapse. Data can get weird. It can give you, if you have a lot of automation set up in a system, you can get a bunch of really weird results. It's like, what was it, Google when they first had their AI search came out, it was telling people to like drink rat poison to like cure a cold or something like that. I mean, it was doing some, yeah. So you really need to make sure that you calculate hallucinations is what they call that. Anything that can help you do more in less time is leverage. So AI can definitely be leverage, even if you have to monitor it. AI is designed to engage the user. It has a bias towards affirming you as you use it. So I know somebody said that it was their best friend. That's because that's the way the model is written. I hate to tell you, it's not your best friend. It's just a piece of technology at this point, as far as we're aware. And it is mirroring back what you're saying, and it is doing everything it can to keep you engaged in it. That's where some people are going, "Well, I'm going to it for therapy." Please go to a licensed professional for therapy. Don't go to ChatGPT. But the reality of it is it doesn't, it's going to create that engagement. That's what it does. AI does not know if an answer is right or wrong, but it will always give you an answer, so verify that data. Sam,
Well, that point that you just made about go to a licensed therapist, remember your clients might be doing the same thing. They may be using ChatGPT to get real estate advice.
oh,
Make sure that you're better than the AI output that your clients may be receiving using this tool. It's not just available to professionals, it's available to everybody.
everybody's got it. Everybody's got it. I know you were just joking. I'm just messing with you, Robin. I was just playing with you on the best friend part. Beware of the slot chain. That's something we're going to see more and more of, which is AI generated content, creating AI generated content, creating AI generated content. Um, just do be aware that is totally a thing. I had AI generate this image. Okay. I asked it to explain its own model to me and how to generate this image. Sometimes people will say that AI is biased. Okay. And I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's usually biased because of the data. So when there's a large amount of information about something and it's inside the middle of that bell curve, you can get really good results from AI. But if you need an idea that is at the edges or what we call outliers, AI is going to ignore them because it's going to go, well, nobody else is doing this, so you probably shouldn't do it, or nobody else is following this particular rule set, so you probably don't. I'm not saying that is right or wrong. I'm just saying the greatest people in history typically didn't come from the middle of that pattern. Would you all agree? Do we say, oh, yeah, this person was the greatest person in history? They were very average. Nope, nobody ever says that. We usually go, they were an outlier. They were unique. They were interesting. They were insert whatever here. So understand that AI is great at looking at that middle part. It's great at finding those averages for us to find what's trending, for us to find common language we can use to communicate with a particular group or target market. But it's probably not going to be able to solve every problem, nor should it. And if you're in a creative space, if you are trying to do something that no one else has done, it is very likely that it is going to fall outside of the patterns, which means AI is not going to give it to you. You got to go on your own journey for that. I do have some additional things on here. This is a lot to read on here. So if you want to pause the recording later, feel free to. But I asked it questions around fringe ideas. It talked about the pattern recognition bias, the training and data influence, the content moderation, and safety layers, and the default to the median. So basically, if it's an outlier, there's a very good chance you're not going to see it. And what's kind of sad, and this is something I want you guys to hear, what's kind of sad is it looks at patterns. So part of the reason it's concerning sometimes when you ask AI certain questions is because it's looking at the patterns of humanity. And sometimes when we hold ourselves up to the mirror, we don't like what we see. So, enough of the existential dread portion of this. Let's get a little bit weird, laugh at a couple things, and then let's go make some actual stuff using AI. If anybody hasn't played around with AI, haven't played around with ChatGPT, you can go get a free account today. That's the one we're going to use because it's the easiest to have access to. But you could use Gemini, you can use all kinds of other different AI options out there. So this was early days of AI. I may sound like I'm anti-AI. I don't want you guys to hear it that way at all. I am very much, it is a tool and we should understand how to properly use it. This came from Stable Diffusion or Dolly in the earlier days. And I gave it very small prompts. Space Battle, I have no idea what that dude's doing with his arm on like a solar panel. His legs are backwards and broken and just totally weird output. I mean, yeah, I don't know what that was. Um, Alien spaceship, gold walls and ceiling, big inside, people looking in on in awe. I see no people, by the way. I asked for people. It did not give me people. That's fine. Still whatever. But then, of course, there was this phase. I'm sure everybody remembers this. The hands. Do you remember the hands? They've gotten a lot better at the hands. But there for a while, the hands did really weird things. For some reason, the cross section of all the data it had is that that is what every real estate agent looks like. That was what the data told it. Now, looking at this room, I don't see anybody that actually looks like that at this moment. So it's fine. Y'all just people, y'all all look different. Um, but man, that hand phase absolutely wigged me out for the longest time. There was an eyeball phase too. Anybody remember that? Where they would put too many eyes on something? It'd be like, yes, looks very human person. And it would have like 17 eyes on somebody's face, and you're like, oh my God. Anyway, but you can get good results out of it as well. I mentioned I'm a science fiction writer. I only say this because that means that I do all kinds of different creative stuff outside of here. This is all made with AI. These are all separate prompts, of course, on this. 9 different images that we're actually looking at right here from a variety of different prompts. They all look very interesting, but how close were they to what I was actually describing in my story? And I would say 50% close. These were still pretty far off. For example, that alien with all the arms and the hands and stuff, I told it every single time I did the prompt, which I used Bing for this one. Bing has an image creator that's pretty good. I said, give it 5 eyes, and it gave it 10 eyes, or 7 eyes, or 3 eyes, or 15 eyes, or 11 eyes, or I don't know. It never gave the correct amount of eyes. Also, I know there's a couple folks in here who actually read the novel that this comes from. That weird looking alien thing in the bottom right, I am not sure that looks like anything that I described. It was super creepy, and I just wanted to leave it in here. I'm pretty sure that's a flat out hallucination on the side of the AI there. So you can create a lot of interesting results, but these aren't necessarily what I was after. If you actually look really carefully at the one on the top right with the sort of piano and all that, that guy's violin and body is somehow inside of a grand piano. So that is another thing that it's just not quite there. And people say it'll get better. That's fine. Do we really want it to get better though? In some spaces. So, um, let's go and let's talk about ChatGPT. So here's what we're going to do, or whatever AI you want to use today. We are going to we're going to start from a blank chat, and we're going to do a who are you prompt. This is something I don't think gets done enough, but this is basically where you train the AI on who you are. If you're new to using it, it may not have a lot of information about you, so it may not really know who you are. You can let it know so that it can best serve the particular objectives that you're trying to accomplish. Then we're also going to do what I call target audience priming. I'm going to give you guys, anybody ever play Mad Libs? Do you remember Mad Libs? Okay. If you haven't ever done Mad Libs, do Mad Libs. It's those little books that you make, you fill in the words and you make really silly sentences. So it'll be like, Patrick walked through the woods and picked up a noun, and then you get to pick what the noun is and the verbs and so on. So we're going to do something kind of like that as a group, and we're going to actually create a target audience. And so, oh my gosh, what did Evan just do down in the chat with AI? I'm kind of scared. What is that? Oh my gosh, his hair looks pretty good though, at least. His face, though, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who. He's weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Yep, that's Evan playing around. That's how it works. So content and data you want to share. So we're gonna create some content. So I'm actually gonna go out of Zoom, and I am going to, and actually hang on a second, I have one in my chat right here. Nope, we're good on that. Cool. I'm gonna go over to the chat GPT, which some people name theirs. I have seen that. I know Evan, speaking of who's harassing me right now, I'll harass Evan. I can't remember what yours is, but yours is named, I know. Um, and so here's what we're going to do. George, we are going to start from blank because I don't want anything else I've ever done interfere with anything that we're doing in this experience. So I'm going to say here, let's say, I want to start from a blank slate just in this chat. Now, what's interesting about ChatGPT and any of these large language models, which is what they call these, is that you interface with them instead of creating code. You create them through prompts. Everybody calls them prompts. But the reality of it is you're just having a conversation with them. So just imagine you're talking to a person, you're having to give very detailed instructions. Imagine it's an intern who doesn't know a lot about specifically what you want to do, but they know a lot of general knowledge. and you're having to give them very specific instructions on how to handle this. So I want to start from a blank slate in just this chat. Um, uh, Please ignore all memories in this chat. So I'm going to put on there. Okay, done. We're starting from a fresh chat. How can I help you today? So let's prime it to teach it who I am or who you are. So let's play along in this particular space. Let's create a fictitious person. I got the question, is the paid version? Yes, it is the $20 paid version of it, not the $200 a month or whatever it is. It's the $20 paid version that I'm using. So, who here wants to raise their hand and have a quick little conversation with me so we can pretend like you? And we're gonna teach ChatGPT to be you. Or to see you as the person who wants to play along.
I'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, Jill. Okay, Jill. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's important to you in life and stuff?
My grandson
Okay. So,
is 3 years old.
grandson is important. These are things I don't typically like to ask ladies because I know this is one of those things. At what stage of life might you be in right now?
I am going to celebrate being 60 next month.
Okay, okay, okay. I am a real estate professional. I am about to be 60 years old. Um, Hang on, I'm a real estate professional, and my name is Jill. Watch. Chat's gonna start calling me Jill for a while. It's gonna be funny, even though I told it not to. It's fine. I'm about to be 60 years old. My grandson is important to me. What kind of values do you hold dear? Like personally, like how you show up to people, things you find beautiful or important. Like, what does that look like in your life?
I am very friendly,
Okay.
open-minded, generous to a fault, and I love fresh flowers, trees, anything in nature. I love going on hikes. Um, when I'm showing houses, I'll tell people what the trees are. They can see through their windows and what they're going to look like at different seasons of the year. Um, Family is utmost important to me, and retiring and protecting my 85-year-old self is very important to me.
Okay.
Eating whole foods,
Ooh.
clean food,
What was the last
exercising. I said eating whole foods and clean foods and exercising every day. I do yoga and walk.
one? Okay. Clean foods, walk and do yoga every day. Okay. What's your dream? What do you want to get out of life?
My
I'm going
dream.
way too deep on this. You don't have to share
No,
what you
you're fine. I want to take my grandson to all 7 continents before he's 15.
all 7 months before he is 17.
Hmm.
So you can go as deep as you want on this, guys. Tell it how you look at the world, tell it how you see other people, tell it what's important to you and what is not. I had a discussion the other day from two diametrically opposed sides with ChatGPT, and they both made me mad. So if that makes anybody else feel any better. So I decided to go one way I completely don't believe and then go one way I do believe. And I am like, it agreed with me on both ends. You follow me? So I hate to tell you, it's going to always agree with you on this, but this is a great place to start. I love this. So let's see what we got. Got it, Jill. Thanks for sharing with me. How can I help you today? Okay, cool. Now,
Oh,
some
they gave me a flower. Look at that.
it gave you the flower. Uh-huh. You see, it's that engagement thing. It's that engagement thing. Let's do you think I'm a good person? This is always some funny things to put in here. Don't take its advice. You care deeply about family, especially your grandson. See, the only reason I'm saying that is we could have put some very hateful things in here and said, "Do you think I'm a good person?" And it probably would have agreed to. So I just want you guys to just be aware of that, is it does play it up just a bit. Okay, I'm going to, and now for the rest, thank you for helping create our agent avatar. We're going to create, or rather our agent getting to know you prompt. I just put a really long prompt down here in the chat or in ChatGPT, and we're going to go in as a group and fill it in like a Mad Lib. And the way Mad Libs worked is they're basically these blanks and you filled them in with information. Okay? So here is what I'm going to start with is I'm a real estate professional and my ideal client is, and then we need to fill in their family status and whether they're both working or not. So let's create this as a group. Anyone feel free to put information in the chat or come off mute and add theirs. So my ideal client is blank. Are they married? Do they have kids? Are they dual income? No kids? Are they single income married? Do they have 3 kids? 1 kid? Like, what does this look like? Go for it.
Me, Emmanuel.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. They
Emmanuel.
are,
Is it Emmanuel?
sorry,
Is it Emmanuel?
Emanuela. La.
Okay. La. Okay.
Emanuela.
Okay.
They are married
Married.
probably for 25 years.
Oh, 25 years. Wow. Married.
Grandkids,
Wow. Yeah.
they're grandkids. They have like maybe 2 grandkids, and they're preparing for retirement.
Or retirement. Okay. There you go.
And they're between 48 and 57. That's exactly my time.
Okay. Ages 48 to 57. We can get really specific on that. Okay. Now, somebody else in here, these fictitious people we're creating, what are their values? What are their values? Core values. And this doesn't just have to be like God, family, business. Like they can
Oh,
be, but I'm also talking like, are they utilitarian? Do they find is beauty important to them? Experiences, like what's important to them?
they like to travel.
Like travel. Anybody else? Okay, so we can put faith. What else? Education. Okay. Oh, and I like outdoors only because Jill also said in hers she had things about outdoors, so I like that. I'm going to put that in there as well. Even though I'm not sure it's a value, I think it will work for this. Yes. Good hair and miniature figurines. There you go. Their income ranges somewhere in the blank per year. So how much money do these people make? They've been married 25 years and have grandkids. I'm hoping they've probably done okay. 500,000. Man, I like that. Let's go with I like the 150 to 250, 250K, just because we're talking potentially dual incomes. So hopefully by that point they've reached the peak of their careers and they made good money. They may or may not have. They may have struggled a little bit more and they may be more towards the 100,000 range, but we'll just use that as a point on this. Their hobbies include blank, blank, and blank. What do these people do for fun? What do they do for fun?
Travel.
Roller derby at 48 to 57, guys, I'm 43. You could not get me to roller derby for anything. Even if I was a lady, I would not. No. I heard travel, so we have that up top, but I'll put this again because I think it's important. Pickleball, I think, is relevant, which I still don't understand that whole thing, but that's fine. I don't have to understand everything. It's okay. Book clubs, hiking, book club, and hiking. We'll do those. Their favorite thing, though, to do is what? What do they like doing the most out of all the things they like to do? Gold mining. Um, Cook for family and friends. That feels correct. Okay, my ideal client's level of ambition is blank. Are these ambitious people or unambitious people? extremely ambitious, want to retire comfortably, high ambition. I'm going to say high ambition, ready to retire. And on a normal day, they would do blank. So we're talking, these are people getting ready to retire. What do they do on a normal day? What's their day look like? Walking dogs, running errands, work, exercise. Oh, and check stock market. I do think that feels appropriate. Okay, put a few of those in there. If you were to look at them on a disc profile, they are a blank with some blank. Now, clarity. If you don't know what the disc profile is, this is a personality test that's been around for a while, and salespeople use it a lot. So I do want to explain what this is because I think it's valuable in your real estate business as well. So DISC, disc. D stands for dominance. Okay. People who are dominant are short, speak quickly, and usually want to get straight to the point. Okay. I in the disc is going to be influence. Influence are people who like to chat, they like to connect, they like to make people laugh, and they typically are good in social situations. I have a lot of I in my personality. Okay. So if you need an example, I'm an I. Okay. S's are steadiness. People who people who have a lot of S, the best way to say this, we're talking engineers and accountants. Okay. They want their days to be the same. They want all the information. They typically speak a lot slower than your D's or your I's, which can be a little challenging if you were a D and you want to speak very quickly and you want to get to the point and they want to agonize over why a specific type of concrete was used in a flagstone in the middle of the yard that nothing else connects to. Okay? Anyone who's worked with an engineer, you know what I'm talking about. They ask questions. And anyone who may have been an engineer in this room, you know what I'm talking about. They have questions other people don't care about. Okay. And that is nothing wrong with that. It is the way that they look at the world, and that is completely relevant. So, S, steadiness. They like the same. They want to know all the things. C, that drove you crazy. I know it did. I know that's why I did it, to drive you crazy intentionally and give you a little perspective. Um, and then there's C's. A C is someone who wants to follow the rules. C stands for compliance. So it's dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. Compliance are your rule followers. I am an IC with some D and a little bit of S. My I means I want to make people laugh, connect with people, do all that. My C is I want to follow the rules and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Okay? That's where that C piece comes out. S's and C's talk slower, want more details. D's and I's talk faster, want less details. Y'all follow where I'm going? Why this might be important when you're showing up for these people. So when we're in this space, let's say I would say that they are a blank with some blanks. So these fictitious people we're creating, what do you think their highest trait is going to be? Is it going to be influence? Is it going to be dominance? Is it going to be steadiness? Is it going to be compliance? Okay. They're going to be opposite, so D and S is very possible. I and D, S and D. S and D is a rare one, and it's a tough one. If you've ever dealt with a client who is a DS or an SD, buckle up. It's a tough one. They want a lot of information, and they can be very demanding, or it can feel like they're being very demanding. So let's go with, since I got a bunch of different ones and not really a clear cross section, I'll just pick the last one. I'll just go with DNS. How about that? I'll just go with DNS. So they're D with some S. If they could have anything they wanted in the world, their dream would be to blank. What do they want to do? They want to move to the islands, get a place in the mountains, travel to the moon. I don't know. Retire. Actually live in Fiji. I like that. I say for now, probably retire comfortably. I think several people had said that earlier, so we'll go with this. When working with them, what are the three things they are most concerned about? When you work with them, what are the things they're most concerned about? Having enough money, cost. What else might they be concerned about? Time frame. Okay. Which makes them feel blank. So they're worried about having enough money, the cost of this, and the time frame, which makes them feel what? Anxious. What else? Overwhelmed. A word I almost can never spell correctly. And Nanette, yes, I'm going to be sharing you guys this prompt and others. This is a very long one. I've got two shorter ones. So we're doing the big one. We're doing the big chonker right now. Pressured. Sure. Okay. Their biggest challenges right now in life are what? So these are people who are approaching their golden years. What are their biggest challenges? I like retirement funds. I think that's important. Oh, leaving inheritance. I think all parents want to do that. Health, I think, is important. As we all age, for anyone who is aging, I'm 43 and I go, things are starting to break. It sucks. Um, and yet I'm still, many people are like, hey, you're still a young one. I will take that as long as I can get away with saying I'm a young one. So, all right. So I want to craft marketing materials that will not only speak to their challenges, but add value to their lifestyle, such as connecting them with things they need, like status, social groups, activities, or just momentary distractions from the pressures of life. Do we have a good avatar? Cool. Well, let's submit. Let's see what we get. Oh, hey, Jill, that is a fantastic avatar. Okay. It's a fantastic avatar. You've done so well. So, marital status, married 25 years-ish. For other ones on here, I might not put 25 years. I might give a range. I know we put a specific number on that. I might give a range because, I mean, how many people are, I mean, it is very difficult to stay married that long, and I commend everyone who does, and I hope that I am right there with you. We're at 14, 15 years, be 15 years this year. And so, which is great. And I just know that's it's a challenge sometimes because staying in love with myself is hard enough. And so, life's a challenge. So, 48 to 57, financial income. We've got travel, all these kind of things. Great. We've got a great cross section. Okay, why is this avatar so good? It's emotionally layered, it's aspirational, it's practical, and it's socially motivated. So, how to leverage this? Ease money anxieties, reinforce their values and lifestyle, highlight timeframes, connect them socially, give them escapes. Short answer, yes, Jill, it's a strong avatar to build. Value driven. If you'd like, I can help build you social posts, newsletter, blogs, or even a client concierge guide for them. I'm kind of curious what that is. So, what piece of content do we want to create for this person? So we're looking for ways to reach out to them. So do we want to work on a newsletter? Do we want to create some reels to do social media posts? I don't think these folks are going to be watching that many reels based on the range. Maybe they will. I don't know. I don't know. I'm 43, so they may be different. I mean, you have to consider that. What are we going to make for them?
What's a concierge guide? I'm curious.
Um, what is a concierge guide? I'm curious. Got to be honest, I have no idea. It's a custom high-level booklet or digital guide that gives you your ideal client, makes your life easier, smoother, more enjoyable, while positioning you as a trusted advisor who gets them. So let's see, pre-retirement downsizing roadmap, local lifestyle and connection guide, financial prep. So really like helping solve problems that may or may not be real estate related. So sounds pretty cool. Kind of like it. Social post, mailer for farm. Since we had two on social post, we'll do that. And since they're 48 to 57, let's say Facebook. Okay. Younger ages, you're going to start to get more Instagram and TikTok, where older ages, Facebook is still one of the primary places on that. So let's say create me 5 Facebook posts about um, events. No, let's see. Let's create 5 Facebook posts about events in the. Somebody give me a city. Somebody give me a city.
Chattanooga.
Yeah, right. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Create me 5 Facebook posts about events upcoming in Chattanooga, Tennessee that would resonate with this avatar we have created. I want to engage them without being too pushy in real estate. If there's a real estate angle we can take advantage of in the events or posts, let's go for it. Searching the web, looking for events. By the way, when you ask for it to pull events and stuff, be very careful. It will sometimes pull things that are over. It will also sometimes pull things that never happened. I've seen that before. Sometimes it can't tell cities. So let's just say there was a Chattanooga, Washington. Even though we said Tennessee, it could pull Chattanooga, Washington. It's interesting like that. So for my Chattanooga folks, Nightfall concert series at Miller Plaza. Is this a thing? I don't know.
Yes, it is a thing.
It is a thing. There we go. Yes, it is. There you go. So Friday night plans, join the Nightfall concert series. So here's the thing. You can take that post and you can create something about it. Maybe you're going and say, "Oh my gosh, have you checked this out?" And it could be that sort of thing that you need to come check out this event. It's really cool. And if you do this kind of stuff on a consistent basis, people start saying things like, wow, they really get me. They do the kind of things I want to do. Okay. It's about just being interested in what's important to them and not just their life, but also in their business. So let's get another one. So Chattanooga River Market in Aquarium Plaza. Yes, I see Jessica's nodding her head. Um, uh, let's see, Wild Film Festival at Signal, Wine Over Water on Walnut Street Bridge, Chattanooga Lookout. So you see, we've got some ideas on here. Create me some, or these are great. Thanks. By the way, I always tell it thanks because if the robot overlords do take control, just make sure you told it thank you. I'm just saying. All right. So create me 5 posts. 5 lifestyle posts. Lifestyle posts based on my avatar of topics I can discuss around the summer. All right, so here we go. Summer days always have a way of reminding us to slow down, whether it's reading on the porch, curling, singing, blah, blah, blah. What's your favorite simple pleasure? I'm going to tell you this too, guys, on the social media side of this. Don't just put text up online for this. Right now, the pairing on Facebook that works really well is a related but not directly related image and then the content. So what I mean by that is like summer days, blah, blah, blah. You could just have a picture of something outside in the summertime. Doesn't have to be you. Doesn't have to be you doing something, although it is always nice to have you doing something in your pictures. But it needs to look like a candid of some kind. It doesn't need to look like a staged photo. Those don't tend to do very well. And so you can just kind of have this candid look or this landscape or whatever it may be, and then add that on there. And it almost makes it sound like it's your thoughts that you're sharing online. And then if they resonate with that, then they will respond to it. Asking questions is always nice too. Things like, what's your favorite simple pleasure this season? I'd love to swap ideas, especially if it involves a good book or fresh tomatoes. Okay. Now that if that aligns with your values, which I guess it does for Jill, then yes. Do you see where we're going with this? What kind of questions do y'all have? Because I know we've only really scratched the surface. I know there was a lot, but we've only just scratched the surface of what you can do with this. No questions. Either that or y'all have your ChatGPT open right now or Gemini or whatever, and you're tossing prompts in there left and right. And you're like, hang on a second. I'm too busy working to pay attention. Do I do a deep dive class on this? I do not, but I will tell you someone else who might do a deep dive class on this. And he is going to be up next and talking a little bit about that. So I would say yes. There's opportunity out there. I do not. However, I am going to be coming to many of your market centers to teach on what I am teaching, what I taught about today. And of course, we can always go deeper on that as well. Uh, Emanuela, go for it.
So I don't know about you, but when I do this
Mhm.
and I play around with ChatGPT, give it the prompts and work on being as specific as I can to yield the results I desire, my challenge is to translate from that it chimes out to implementing it into a post that I like, that I don't have to yet again rework
Mhm.
or redo. So I need a little bit of help from to bridge this action to the result.
So is the post usually when you do it, does it just not feel right?
It's
Tell
it's
me more.
laden with mistakes
Okay.
and it feels static and it doesn't give me what I'm envisioning in my head, no matter how specific I make it.
So a lot of that comes down to you have to build a framework. It's really good at framework. You will have to rewrite some of it. It is almost inevitable. It's either going to quote incorrect information sometimes, or it's not going to have your voice. Now, not everybody here maybe has fully defined what their voice is. And this is something I can't tell you to go write for 14 years to figure out what your voice is. Like people go in my words. It has taken me years to figure out what my words are. Okay. And I know that's a challenge for a lot of us and it takes a lot of practice. So if you do feel like you struggle in that, keep practicing. It may just be you need to figure out what feels right for you. It may not necessarily be the AI model, and they may not be able to figure that out until you've gone on a bit of a journey of self-exploration to figure out like, hey, what do I really sound like? What values do I hold dear? How do I like to communicate with people? For example, not everybody likes Patrick's classes. You guys have stuck around. I'm glad you guys are here. I have a specific way I teach because it's part of my voice. I try to engage you guys as being a little bit funny. I'm self-effacing. I'm not worried about making an idiot of myself in front of y'all. I try to give you guys a perspective that will serve you beyond just what we're doing today. I try to give y'all information um, that also it has to do with mindset. It has to do with where the future is going, not just, hey, here's this technology tool, go do it. Okay. Like I have a certain way that I approach that. And like I said, I have an I in my style. If I was an S or a C on the disc profile, we would be doing facts and figures all day. And the D's in the room would have checked out and been like, hey, I'm done. Like, and I'd be like, well, I gave them the information. I gave them the information. Yeah, well, they wanted it in bite-sized chunks, and that was it. Okay. So everybody kind of has their own way. So I hope that that helped. That I didn't want that to sound like a sidestep. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do this, but you have to know what your particular voice is. And if you're finding that you can't get that quite dialed in, then it may just be you need to do some exploring. That's all. Big question, guys, is was this segment valuable? Did y'all get something out of this? I hope. Good.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, I'm going to pause the recording.